Welcome to hole number one of the Fall Major, playing here on the reworked Greenock Point course. Now, setting up here, looking at the send it shot, I will show you this shot next, but depending on the crosswind and all headwind, I recommend playing here on the left-hand side. You can play this with about 3 to 4 bars of topspin, 1 right spin, and you'll notice how I've got that second bounce just nicely over onto that second fairway. I make a 10% max adjustment here. I'm just going to hit this one cleanly. Now, you could certainly argue that you could use a power 5 ball, even in headwind, and you could get this one over. It's certainly possible depending on the level of clubs and such. But I want you to see this path. I think it's important that you know at least 2 ways to play this hole. So, comes in nicely. This is where I say 3 to 4, because you could push it a little bit too much. Second shot here with the thorn. I'm kind of lining it up. We're close to, close to mid-distance, right around there. Now, this is going to be anywhere from 0 to 2 bars of backspin. I think 2 bars of backspin here is nice in this setup, but it just depends. Now, I think I played this shot in the video at 15 mid. I think I played 15 or 20. Let's see. 10, because I think it needs like 0.5 more. So I think we should play this around, or a couple points more, around 20% mid, especially in the cross and headwind angles, to give you a good look at it. Of course, this isn't the absolute best way to play hole number one. However, it depends on the wind. So clean connection, bounces it, roll it beautifully, just about, but we'll show you how to get there real easy. Okay, so hole one with a lot nicer wind here. You can see I've stepped up to a katana ball, 4.5 top, 2 bars of left spin, because I find it puts that second bounce in the perfect position at max extension. So setting up here, I'm going to give it, like I said, max top, 2 bars of left spin, and I'm going to adjust here 10% max. We're going to give this max over power and kind of like inner wall left curl. You can see we just give it a couple of clicks there. Do try to hit perfect. Slight grates here could be okay, but there's certainly several hazards in play. As we see here, second bounce just before the rough slows it down. Tiny bit less topspin, take off a half a bar, and you'd be looking at a putt. Bit more curl. You could definitely get this one to drop. So we're going to play that second shot, 20% mid. I think I left the slider at 10% here in this example, but with such a low level end bringer, it's not going to make that much difference. Maybe 0.1, 0.2 at max. So I kind of got a little bit lucky here. But in general, you do want to be playing that end bringer rule, 20% mid. You could certainly eyeball it from this close, but when you're in a tournament situation, you always want to be bringing your best, bringing your A game. I am, in fact, trying to get banners for me and for you. So hopefully this information is helpful. If you enjoy it, don't forget to hit that thumbs up. Subscribe to the channel. We're always bringing you more golf clash fun. Okay, so classic hole has been totally changed. Similar, but not the same. I've got a navigator here and a sniper, 4.5 top or so. 1 bar of left spin here. In a really different wind, the spin, of course, is going to be totally different. But at max distance here, I've got that clear ring touching the rough on the left-hand side. And you can see we're going to adjust here 1 to 1. That's going to be 1 ring for every 1 wind. Max over power. Couple of baby clicks of right curl, kind of inner wall right curl once again. And you'll see how this one comes in and responds very similarly to what we would expect with the previous version of this hole. Now, still a little bit of work to be done here. I think a little bit of right curl was in order, but as you can see, we're getting very close. Hole number 3, this par 5, setting up with the extra mile and a Titan ball, 4.5 top, 2 bars of right spin. And you'll notice I kind of have the yellow ring centered up in the fairway here, with the red ring just about halfway into the rough. 10% max here. We're going to have to spin it around through the trees. You might have to zoom way out here, depending on the wind angle, especially on a harsh crosswind. Just keep that in mind. So 10% max. No big deal. We're going to give this one about a half a ball of right curl there. Nothing crazy. And don't go much more than that. This could actually just be outer wall right curl, because you'll see we do come fairly close to the bunker. Right there. I mean, nothing insane, but just keep it in mind. It's definitely in play. Second shot here, you could play it with the sniper, depending on your bag. I'm choosing to go for safety which apparently wasn't entirely necessary. However, this is a long hole and can be quite difficult. I end up giving it here about 3 bars, 2 to 3 bars of topspin and 2 bars of right spin. You're going to notice here we're going to make the same 10% max adjustment. There's the adjustment, looking good. And I think I give this just a tiny click of inner wall right curl. Maybe not. Yeah, a little bit. Just a tiny little bit of inner wall right curl. Just a little circle break there. No big deal. You'll see why I didn't show you sniper footage when this one comes in. Oh, so sweet. Even with the big dog, it gives you a very, very good look at it, and something we can definitely get even closer in the tournament. Okay, so hole 4, this part 3, I find you don't need to do much to get this one over in a nice way. Going to use anywhere between 0 to 2 bars of backspin. You'll see in this situation with the headwind, we're not really using any. And the adjustment is going to be 1-to-1 plus 0.5 or 0.4, depending on the angle. If, of course, you have a tailwind here, this is when I might use 2 bars of backspin. I'm just bouncing this one over and getting it down to the green. There's a little bit of like a rut in the green, and it kind of has a little hill and then a shelf that the hole is on. You'll see what I mean, but you have to kind of maintain speed coming up to the hole, but not go too fast. Doesn't show it very well at that angle. Comes in very, very close, though. I think this one is going to be a very, very good chance. All right, so hole 5, par 5, setting up here with the EM and a Titan ball to give us a nice reach for that second shot. Initially, I'm thinking big topspin, but no. This is rookie. We don't have as far to reach here, so we're actually going to only use 1 bar of topspin and 2 bars of side spin, depending on the wind here and the level of your extra mile. You might actually be using backspin if you're going for a similar style shot. I get it if you've got a high level account and you want to send it over to the last fairway, by all means. But this is still a rookie video. 10% max here on the adjustment. You'll notice I was, just a couple yards below max just to give me room there. I give it a couple of clicks of overpower. Bottom teeth, no big deal. Just to get this one safely down the first fairway and to leave us nicely in the wood range. Now, with that wood, I'm playing the sniper here, always trying to go with that ball guide and accuracy whenever possible. As you can see, we're very close to max distance here, so we need to be careful that we get the right adjustment. I've tried playing backspin and topspin here. I think 0 spin in the headwind is going to be the most beneficial. I pulled 10% here in the video. It's going to be a little bit over adjusted, so I'm going to recommend 0 max as a base elevation here, but always it's a moving target. It's the thing that we're always working with. The gears, the dials we're turning to tweak it and to dial it to get it where we want it to be. But I think this is a very, very good foundational shot. It's going to give you a really decent look at the albatross. The rough can certainly be a rough bump if you've got the right setup here. Comes in beautiful speed. Like I said, slightly over adjusted, but not far off the mark. Hole 6, this par 4, it's long, it's challenging. It kind of looks like a par 5, but set up on the left-hand side. I'm only using a navigator here. You might decide you need a little bit more. I'm going to give this one, you got to be careful with the topspin here, 4 top and 1 left. If you had 4.4 wind here, you probably only want to give it like 1 topspin. Okay, so keep that, or excuse me, 3 topspin, take away 1. And if it's headwind, you're going to have to use a little bit of overpower here to play the same shot, or set it up with the navigator and then switch to the Titan ball just before you adjust. Anyway, all in good fun. Bounce it from the first fairway on the left, roll over all that rough and get it nicely over onto the second one. If you do that and put the ball somewhere over in this situation, you should be in a long iron range. I'm going to play 3 bars of backspin here with this Goliath, and we're going to make the adjustment at 10% mid. You can see we're, maybe a 60% or something, but 10 mid should work very, very well. This wind angle is helpful. It's definitely playing in our favor. 2 isn't quite enough. Go 2.5 maybe. Yeah, 3 back. There we go. Get there. 3 bars of backspin. And as you can see, we're just lined up directly at the hole. I like the new green here. It's still not amazing. The rough bump, it's maybe a little bit less glitchy than it used to be, but still didn't seem like the most consistent play to recommend for a, for a front tee video. So there's something to look at, though. Probably going to play it in, master expert. I can see Tommy cranking that one out. But with a good little bit of luck here on hole 6, you might be able to walk away with the eagle. Come on, baby. Get in the hole. Hole 7 here, decently difficult par 3, setting up at that little peninsula of rough. You see that? With that red ring touching the little peninsula there. Now notice that ball guide rolling out beautifully onto the green. I'm going to play this with anywhere from 0.5 back to 0.5 top and 1 bar of right spin. There's the right spin. In this wind, I'm going to give it just a little bit of backspin. Just about that, about half back. But if you have different wind, you're going to have to use a little bit different spin. This sets up around 10% max here, and I think this is a really good, foundation, a good starting point to get this par 3 as close as can be. It's difficult to dial in the par 3, especially when you got the practice wins to work with, so should be interesting. I think once folks get this one straightened out, it should be a pretty repeatable, not a gimme or anything, but certainly something we'll be seeing some drops. This one's a little bit short, just a bit less backspin here, and can put us in a very nice way. All right, so hole number 8, we're going to do everything in our power to get this ball to the green, especially in all winds. You can play the left-hand side, similar to hole 1 if you're looking for a layup option, but otherwise bring the longest, strongest ball you got. 4.5 top, 2 left here with the extra mile, and you think we're going to play that one? No, we're going to go navigator. I'm looking at the second bounce at max extension. See here? Watch. Perfect, right? We want that to be just before the green. So 4.5 top. 1 bar of left spin. We're going to adjust 10% max here, and then we're going to give this one max over power. Now, I understand there's a bunker to the left and a bunker to the right. If the elevation isn't correct and you don't hit perfect here, this one will most likely hit the dirt. You could certainly set up a play with a higher power ball, a less amount of overpower. That's absolutely fine. I think this is going to be an average path for most people. Hit in the middle, right beside the green. You know what to do here. We're going to drop that beautiful little end bringer. Now, that end bringer shot, as you can see, very small green, but, this is very, very makeable, especially with this wind angle coming slightly from across section behind our backs here. I think this is going to be, one of the scoring holes, one of the ones that you're going to really need to drop, especially if you have a tailwind. And depending on the player, this is the kind of shot, kind of hole. Wouldn't surprise me to see some people dropping the hole in ones. I mean, all in all, I think they've done Greenock Point very, very well. I think it's been a ton of fun, and I've been enjoying it very, very much. If you're enjoying the video, please don't forget to subscribe to the channel. We're so close to 10K. I appreciate all of you guys. Thank you so very much. Hole number 9, they've actually opened up the right side here quite a bit. 4.5 top. Extra mile and a Titan, and we're going to play that second bounce rough bump to get this one up onto that fairway. And that fairway still has a back slope, so it will slow it down a little bit. It's not quite as dramatic as it once was, but I think with a clean setup here, even a great ball, a slight grade, should be safe. But 10% max here, perfect ball. This should give us a perfect result. We're bouncing on the first fairway first, just like that. Over. Second bounce, rough bump, comes out very nicely. You can see it traveling uphill, slows down, lots and lots of room to work with. Now, second shot here, I haven't quite figured the elevation just so, but I feel like around 4 bars of backspin here, close to the max distance with the Goliath, and a 0% elevation adjustment is going to put us in a pretty darn good situation. As you can see, it's a bit glitchy there, so I'm trying to find a nice spot that's going to give me a decent landing position. I'm playing around. It's just not super consistent. So I slam the backspin. I think I have 1 right spin, but no, we're going to go there. And now look and see. Not bad. We're running out of time, so we got to get going here. But in a crosswind, getting the tip of the ball guide to the hole is a very good philosophy. Learned, of course, from GC Tommy. Shout out to all you beautiful people. I really appreciate you guys. I'm looking forward to this fall major so that the Erelic Gaming clan can absolutely shut the door and seal our season in the C100. So on the green safely, a little bit offline, but definitely will get you going.